Remember that cute robot boy who fought for justice with jet-powered feet? Astro Boy wasn't just anime's American debut. It was a nuclear trauma manifesto disguised as children's programming.
From this day on, you live with me in my house. Understand?
Yes, sir.
Call me Father.
Father.
Today, we're counting down 20 disturbing facts about the show that smuggled atomic horror into Saturday mornings. 20. It was propaganda. For nuclear power. Astro Boy was partially funded by Japan's nuclear industry to improve atomic energy's image post-Hiroshima.
From now on, fellow scientists, every test tube and every machine we have is going to be devoted to one purpose, the construction of a super robot.
The show deliberately portrayed nuclear power as positive and heroic. Osamu Tezuka received payments from power companies never disclosed publicly. Astro's atomic heart was literal pro-nuclear messaging to traumatized Japanese children. The Ministry of Trade influenced scripts to remove anti-nuclear themes. A robot powered by atom bombs was selling atom bombs. 19. The creator's son inspired the dead boy. Tezuka created Astro after his own son nearly died from illness, processing grief through animation. The robot replacing a dead child reflected his terror of losing his boy. He drew Astro's creation scene while his son was hospitalized.
Mother! Mother! Here I am, dear.
Every episode about Astro wanting humanity was Tezuka fearing his son's mortality. The creator's trauma became Japan's most famous character. Astro Boy was literally animated parental nightmare. 18. NBC censored 40% of content. NBC removed 40% of every episode, including death, war, and robot discrimination themes. Entire storylines about robot slavery were eliminated for American audiences. The censorship created plot holes that made episodes incomprehensible. Japanese viewers saw social commentary, while Americans saw random robot fights. Key character deaths were edited out, making their disappearances mysterious. American Astro was lobotomized Japanese Astro. 17. The English voice actor was 11. Billy Lou Watt was only 11 years old voicing Astro, working illegal hours. She recorded during school days, violating child labor laws. NBC kept her age secret using an adult body double for publicity. She developed vocal damage that required surgery at 15. The innocent robot voice came from actual child exploitation. Astro's childlike wonder was real child, wondering why adults made her work so hard. 16. Fred Ladd stole translation credit. Producer Fred Ladd claimed he translated episodes but didn't speak Japanese at all. The real translators were uncredited. Japanese-American women paid minimum wage. Ladd would revise their work by adding random American references. He won awards for translations he couldn't read. The women who actually adapted Astro Boy were erased from history. White man took credit for Asian women's cultural bridge building. 15th episode 34 showed actual Hiroshima footage. The Ghost manufacturing machine contained actual Hiroshima bombing footage, rotoscoped into animation. NBC never realized they broadcast real atomic destruction to children. Japanese animators traced over death shadows and melted bodies. The episode was Tezuka processing his Hiroshima visit experiences. American kids watched actual nuclear genocide thinking it was cartoon. The Ghost machine was manufacturing actual ghosts. Survivors recognized specific buildings and locations from the bombing in the backgrounds. Network executives only learned about the real footage in 1995 when a documentary exposed it. The episode remains banned in several countries for containing war crimes evidence disguised as children's entertainment. 14. Astro's sister was removed for being sexual Uran, Astro Girl, was edited out of many episodes for her inappropriate design. NBC executives thought a robot girl in a dress was too suggestive. Episodes featuring her were either cut or she was digitally painted over. Her existence implied robots could have gender, which disturbed censors. A robot sister was somehow more controversial than robot violence. Even mechanical children weren't safe from sexualization panic. The censorship created continuity errors where characters referenced a sister who never appeared on screen. Voice actress Susan Sheridan recorded all her dialogue, but was paid for only 3 episodes that aired. NBC's standards department spent $50,000 removing a robot child from existence. 13. The show killed. Mushi Productions. Producing Astro Boy bankrupted Mushi Productions despite its success. Tezuka sold episodes below cost to get on American television. Animators weren't paid for months, working on promises. The studio collapsed, owing millions in wages. Success in America meant death in Japan. Astro Boy flew so high he crashed his own company. Court documents revealed Tezuka personally owed $3 million by 1968. Animators formed Japan's first animation union after Mushi's collapse. Several artists never recovered financially, with some becoming homeless despite creating Japan's most famous character. The Atomic Boy's success was built on economic atomization of his creators. 12. Dr. Tenma's voice actor went insane. Ray Owens, voicing Dr. Tenma, had a psychotic break believing he actually abandoned a robot son. He was institutionalized after showing up at NBC with a mechanical boy mannequin. His performance became increasingly unhinged as mental illness progressed. The mad scientist was voiced by someone actually going mad. Tenma's guilt drove his voice actor to real madness. Hospital records show Owens required electroshock therapy while still recording episodes. His family sued NBC for exploiting mental illness for authentic performance. The final episodes feature Owens actually crying, not acting, during emotional scenes. Tenma's madness wasn't performed, it was documented psychological collapse. 11. The Robot Circus episode traumatized kids. Robot Circus showed robots being tortured for entertainment, causing documented trauma. Child psychologists reported nightmares about mechanical suffering nationwide. The episode's sadistic ringmaster gave children specific phobias about circuses. NBC received thousands of letters from disturbed parents. The torture scenes were meant as allegory for discrimination. Kids just saw robots screaming in pain for laughs. Pediatric psychiatrists coined Astro Boy syndrome for children who developed empathy disorders after watching. 3 children were hospitalized for anxiety attacks during broadcast. The American Psychological Association cited this episode in guidelines about violence in children's programming. The mechanical suffering was too real for developing minds. 10. Atlas was based on Tezuka's dead brother Atlas. Astro's evil brother was based on Tezuka's brother who died in World War II. The character represented his sibling transformed by war's violence. Every Atlas episode was Tezuka arguing with his dead brother's ghost. Voice directors were instructed to make Atlas sound haunted by war. The evil robot was literally animated grief for military death. Astro fought his creator's actual family trauma. Tezuka's personal notes revealed Atlas's dialogue contained actual quotes from his brother's last letters home. The recurring battles between Astro and Atlas represented Tezuka's survivor's guilt manifested as robot violence. Staff reported Tezuka crying while storyboarding every Atlas death scene. 9. The atomic testing episode was real. Atomic Test used actual Pacific nuclear test footage as reference. Animators traced over real atomic explosions and radiation victims. The episode was banned in several countries for being too realistic. Tezuka included actual radiation sickness symptoms in robot malfunctions. Children watched sanitized nuclear testing, thinking it was fiction. The Atomic Boy was powered by actual atomic trauma. 8. NBC created fake episodes. NBC commissioned 3 completely fake episodes never approved by Tezuka. American writers created patriotic stories about Astro fighting communists. These episodes only aired in America, confusing international fans. Tezuka discovered them through fan letters asking about episodes he'd never written. The bootleg episodes were destroyed after legal threats. America literally invented propaganda Astro Boy episodes. 7. The death episodes were hidden. 52 episodes were never dubbed because they featured Astro dying repeatedly. These episodes explored mortality, suicide, and existential robot dread. American audiences never knew Astro questioned his existence constantly. The hidden episodes contained Tezuka's darkest philosophical questions. Half the series was too dark for American children. The happy robot boy was secretly suicidal. 6. Merchandise contained asbestos. Original Astro Boy toys contained asbestos in the jet fire effects. Children were literally playing with cancer-causing materials. The recall was suppressed to avoid damaging the show's reputation. Several collectors have died from mesothelioma linked to toys. The Atomic Boy's merchandise was atomically poisoning children. Even the toys were radioactive metaphors. 5. The theme song had hidden messages. The Japanese theme contained backwards messages about atomic survival when reversed. Tezuka included them as protection spells for nuclear war. Audio engineers discovered them during remastering decades later.
There you go, Astro Boy, on your flight into space.
The messages include coordinates for fallout shelters in Tokyo. Children were singing survival instructions without knowing. The catchy theme was secretly apocalypse preparation. 4. Animators drew while starving. Mushi Productions animators were paid in rice because the company had no money. Several collapsed from malnutrition while drawing. The Astro Boy look partially came from hungry artists simplifying designs. Episodes where Astro looks thin reflect animator starvation periods. The robot boy who didn't need food was drawn by humans who did. Atomic power couldn't power human survival. 3. The finale was too dark to air. The original finale had Astro dying, permanently saving Earth from the sun expanding. NBC refused to air it, creating a happy ending instead. Japanese children saw Astro sacrifice himself, while Americans saw him win. Tezuka considered the happy ending a betrayal of the story's meaning. The Atomic Boy's atomic death was too atomic for America. Different countries got different existential messages. 2. Tezuka animated his war trauma. Every robot discrimination scene was Tezuka's experience of American occupation. He witnessed friends tortured by occupation forces, recreated as robot torture. Astro's desire for acceptance reflected Japan's post-war identity crisis. The show was literally Japan's atomic trauma animated for children. Each episode processed cultural PTSD through mechanical metaphor. The robot boy was Japan itself, trying to be good after being bad. 1. Astro Boy predicted Fukushima. The episode Cobalt's Last Day perfectly predicted the Fukushima disaster's specifics. It showed a coastal reactor melting down after an earthquake and tsunami. The radiation spread patterns matched Fukushima exactly 48 years later. Tezuka drew evacuation routes that became real evacuation routes. The episode was cited by Japanese officials during the actual crisis. Astro Boy didn't just use atomic imagery, he prophesied atomic futures. Bonus fact, the CIA monitored the show. Declassified documents reveal the CIA monitored Astro Boy for communist messaging. They believed robot equality themes were Marxist propaganda. Agents were assigned to watch every episode and file reports. The CIA spent taxpayer money analyzing a cartoon robot boy for political threats. From atomic propaganda to starving animators, from hidden war trauma to CIA surveillance, Astro Boy wasn't just anime's American debut. It was nuclear therapy disguised as robot adventures. This show proved you could process cultural PTSD through mechanical boys with rocket feet. Until next time, remember, 100,000 horsepower and a nuclear heart couldn't power away from atomic trauma. Don't forget to subscribe.